according to the rule of the school, I have to put on mask. But, we have social distancing, so that's fine. And, when I put on the mask, I really can't breathe because I have to talk, right? Keep talking. So sorry. Okay, we get to the fourth choice. Is a wage rate increase will necessarily lead to shorter working hours. So that really depends on two things. The same thing, right? We talk about income effect, okay, and substitution effect. Okay, so wage rate goes up. What you're gonna do? You're gonna work more or work less. So which one? So anyway, Ye Yifang. Oh, excuse me. You're gonna work more. Okay, really. So let us say, this year the wage rate you have, the minimum wage rate is $160, $168 per hour. Okay, but when you get 200, you're gonna work more or work less. Ye Yifang, work more. Why? Because in the past, you take 1 hour off. Okay, you don't work one more hour, right? You take 1 hour off. You lose 168, right? And now, if you take 1 hour off, you lose 200. So you lose more, okay? So the opportunity cost for your leisure is higher, okay? But let us say, now you get 500. You're gonna work more or work less? If the wage rate is $500 now, you're gonna work more or work less? Still more? Okay, good. Good girl. Okay, so now, okay, suppose your income, your wage rate each hour is 5,000. Okay, and in the past, okay, let us say when you have $200 per hour, you work 40 hours. Okay, now if each hour you get 5,000, how many hours you're gonna work? You're still gonna work 40 hours? Yes or no? No, right? That's the reason. If you look at the real estate market in Kaohsiung, okay, real estate. So, Liu Youxiang, what's the real estate market? Real estate. Real estate. What's the real estate market? Excuse me? Right. It's booming. After TSMC said they're gonna build a factory in Kaohsiung, what happened? The housing prices shot up, right? So I used to look at houses like, 6 million, 7 millions per house is now 12 million. It's crazy, okay? Even, the ones around our campus. In our campus, what can you do? You can do nothing. No restaurant, right? No, nothing, just nothing. A lot of roaming dogs, right? That's it. In Taiwan, we say no facilities, okay, not convenient, right? But it's $8 million, $9 million. It's really crazy. But what happened? If you sell one house, you can eat for 1 year, right? So why there are so many? It's called, what's that called? Broken. Okay, so what's broker in English? 双方语. Broken. 2 words. Louder. I heard it. Right, exactly. Okay. And so why so many people want to join the real estate market? Is because, it's easy money. If you sell one house, right? You are very comfortable for the whole year, okay? If you sell 2, you're a millionaire. Probably. Okay, so anyway. So the fourth choice says wage rate increase will necessarily lead to shorter working hours. Is that true? No. Depends on income effect and substitution effect. for substitution effect, it's always negative. Okay, remember that substitution effect is always negative. So wage rate goes up, you always work more, but there is also income effect, right? So look at this. If you get $200 per hour, right, and you work 40 hours, what you get? You get 8,000, right? And now each hour you get 5,000. Suppose you change your job to a real estate broker. So what you get? Do you have to work the whole year? No, you don't, right? You probably sell 2 or 3 houses, then you take it off. Okay? Okay, let's get to question 3. Okay, question 3. D1D. Would you come to the whiteboard? Work on this one. Come here. Thank you. It's your turn. Excuse me? No. Solve it. This is the demand function, right? And this is the supply function. So solve for equilibrium P and Q. Okay? You're welcome. Right. No. You have to solve it. No. Work it out. 高嘉燕 This is your pen. It's easy, okay? But you know, in this second semester is not as easy as this one. As I told you, you know, for a perfect competitive company or monopolies, when you solve it, you need to have calculus. Okay, you need to have differentiation. Okay, the way to work it out, because in equilibrium, there's only one price, right? Equilibrium price, equilibrium quantity. In equilibrium, you only have one price and one quantity. So you got it? Okay, and then what about P? You have to solve for P and Q. So what's you got P, so you got Q, so what's P? So solve it. Okay, let us check. So this is the easiest part for the first semester. So you have demand function 4Q plus P equal 20, and then you have 3Q equals P minus 6, and so then you have 20 minus 4Q is equal to 3Q plus 6. Okay, so then this is what you get. P is equal to 2. And when you have P equals to 2, right? So Q equal to 2. So this is 6, and here's minus 6. You move it there, so we got P is equal to 12. So good. Questions? But sorry, we don't have this kind of question anymore, because now we are going to discuss the behavior of a firm. Okay? I think I need to put this here. Okay. Hold on. So we have 4Q plus P is equal to 20, right? And then 3Q is equal to P minus 6. Okay? So now the question here is that, so according to numbers, this one, okay, this sign, Yuanti, what is this sign called? How are you going to call this in Mandarin? Mandarin. Anyway, you got it right. Hash. Okay, this hash. And you know, because what's that called? Tweet. Okay, Twitter, right? So you have hashtag. But sometimes you can call this pound key. So in on the telephone, right? You have the setup there. Okay, you have a pound key. This is called a pound key. The other one is called star. Okay. So there are three suppliers. Okay, so here this is this is supply, right? This is supply and this is demand. Okay, so you have three suppliers with the same supply function. So what is the market supply? Market supply, okay, it is at every given price. Then you add how many units people are going to sell. Okay, if you only one person, then this person's supply is the whole market supply. But let us say you have 2 or 3 persons. What happened? You have to add, say, at $1, how many people going to supply at how many units? Okay, the number of units, and then another price, another units, people going to supply. Add them all up horizontally. Add them all up, and that will be the market supply. But of course, this is the question you have to solve. We have done this before in class. So anyway, Huang Xiuhui, you want to try? Excuse me? Go ahead. Come here. Supply, right? You want to do it here or there? Okay. And you're welcome. So for those new students, I want to make sure that you know what's going on here, because this is what we have done last semester. No problem. Why? Anyway, okay. Actually, we have done this that semester, so you figure out the rule, right? But if we want to do it step by step, okay, how to get it out? So anyway, the answer is here, right? Okay, the answer is here. But how to get that, right? The point is how to get that. Okay, so let us say we have, well, let me see what we're going to do. Okay, so Q is equal to, okay, P over 3 minus 2. Okay, so this is the, original supply function, right? Okay, so we can simplify it to this way. Okay, any question? It's the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing. But the question is that we need to have 3 suppliers, the same suppliers. Okay, so let us say P is equal to 3. When P, it will be negative. So then we have to P equal to 9. Okay, when P is equal to 9, what will be the supply? What will be the quantity supply? It will be equal to 1, right? Okay, it will be equal to 1. But we say, how many suppliers do we have? We have 3. Okay, it has to be 3. Okay, and so then let us say P is equal to 12. Why? Why I have 9 and 12? Because because it has to be divided by 3. Okay, so make it easier for our calculation. And if it is equal to 12, so this one will be equal to 4, right? 4. And 4 minus 2 will be 2. But because we have 3 suppliers, so the quantity will be equal to 6. Okay? So basically, this is what you have. And you know that to determine a line, you want to figure out a line, you only need 2 points. So then you have to have, so when you say p minus 9 divided by p minus 12 will be equal to q minus 3 and q minus 6. Okay? From here, okay, the calculation, you can get this one. Okay? Okay, then get to question 5. Okay? Basically, this is the same thing. So here, it is the demand function. Okay? To get a market demand is get the horizontal sum at each given price. Okay? And connecting all the dots, then you can get the market supply. And so basically, that's the same idea. Okay? So what you're going to do, the process to work it out is the same thing here. So then you're going to have Q is equal to, 5 minus P over 4. And you're going to work out the same thing. Okay? When P, let us say, is equal to 4, right? Then Q, okay, supposedly the original one, you only have one person, right? So the Q will be equal to 4. But now you have how many? You have 4. 4 person, and each one demand 4 units, so that will be 16. Okay? And then P equals, because it is 4, so we get some number that is easy for calculation, so we just use 8, right? And say, if there's only one consumer, that will be equal to 3. But now you have 4 consumers, that will be 12. And so to get the line, okay, to get a demand function, so P minus 4 divided by P minus 8 is equal to Q minus 16 and Q minus 12. And so from here, you can get the answer. Okay? And so again, question 3, you have a new market supply, market demand, and then so you get a market supply curve and market demand curve, just like the first question, question 3, then you can get to the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. Okay? Okay, question 7. Question 7. The Yu Hua Yuan. Did you take this course last year? No. Did you? No. Zheng Yilin, you did, right? Okay. So, can you work this out? Question 7. Let me read it. Okay, in intertemporal consumption discussion, the income for period 1 and 2 and consumption in period 1 and 2 are Y1, Y2, C1, and C2 respectively. If this person lends money to others in period 1, then what is C2? Okay? Which one? Can you tell me how to solve it? So let me draw the picture a little bit so that some people, without taking this class in the first semester, will know a little bit what's going on here. So you know that sometimes you can buy 2 goods, X, Y, right? And now it is your choice at different time points. So you have period 1 and period 2. So this is consumption in period 1. Here is consumption in period 2. And so you have budget line, the same thing, but you have a different point. It is called endowment. So this is your income, at period 1, your income at period 2. Okay? So, 正一点, because this person is a lender, right? He's a lender. So his consumption point, his choice is here or here. He is a lender. This way or that way? That way, okay? Why? Because this one has saving. So he has money to lend to others, right? And so the consumption will be here. Okay, C1 star, and here C2 star. Okay, when we put star, it means it is an equilibrium choice. Okay, it is optimal choice. So we put star here. Did I put star? No, I didn't. So forget about it. Okay, so Zheng Ying, can you tell me what would be the consumption, this person's consumption in period 2? So what is C2? Because he lends money to others, right? So of course in period 2 he gets money back, okay, and also plus interest. And then he still had the income at period 2, so he can consume that, right? So what would be here? So first tell me, how much money does this person lend to others? How much money this person lend to others? So this one is spent, C1 is spent, right? He consumed it. So how much does he lend to the others? Okay, so Y1 minus C1, right? And of course, if you lend this amount to others, you get the money back and also interest payment, right? So money back and interest payment. And also, he can consume his second period income, right? So, okay, so this is the answer, okay? Where is it? Here, right? Okay? Okay, so this is in chapter 5. I remember that. If I got it right, okay, is in chapter 5. So you want to check that, okay? Okay. Question 8. So in intertemporal consumption discussion, what is the slope of the budget line? So if you want to get the slope of budget line, you want to figure out what's going on here. So what's going on here is actually like this. So the model tells us that your consumption must be equal to your income, but because now you have two periods, so it will be the discounted income must be equal to the discounted consumption. So Y1, that is now, right? That's what happened now. But if you have Y2, that's the second period, but you have to discount it. So if you have studied finance, corporate finance, then you know this is called discount cash flow. And C1 plus C2 divided by 1 plus R. So then what you get? You get C2, okay, is equal to Y1 plus Y2 divided by 1 plus R minus C1, okay? And here you have, 1 plus R. So then what you get? C2 is equal to minus 1 plus R C1 plus 1 plus R times, Y1 plus Y2 divided by 1 plus R. So the slope is here. Okay, the slope is negative 1 plus R. Okay, the slope is negative 1 plus R. Okay, questions? Okay. 叶一方 Okay. Question 9. Read the question.
Which of the following is correct? A. If R decrease, savers will save more. B. If R increase, borrowers will borrow more. C. If R increase, savers will save more. 2. If R decrease, borrowers will borrow more. E. No of the above.
Okay. So that's the same thing. When I ask you, right, when wage rate goes up, right, okay, you're gonna work more or work less, right? And that's the same thing. Interest rate goes up, you're gonna consume more. So consume, we just put C. Consume more or consume less. Okay? Again, it is on two effects: substitution effect and income effect. For substitution effect, it is always negative. Okay? Substitution effect is always negative. So when interest rate goes up, the opportunity cost to borrow goes up. So the opportunity to consume goes up. So you consume less. Okay? For substitution effect, interest rate goes up, you consume less. Okay? For substitution effect, interest rate goes up, you consume less. But what about income effect? For income effect, it depends on who you are. Okay? If you are a saver, okay? If you are a saver, when interest rate goes up, this is good news, right? Because you save the same amount, let us say $100, and interest rate goes up, you get more out of it. Okay, so you're going to consume more. But suppose you are a lender. If you are a lender, what happened? You have to pay more out of your pocket because your interest payment goes up. So what happened? Your consumption goes down. Okay? So for this question, it said R decreases. Okay, savers will save more. Remember, R decreases, you get less interest income, right? So A is wrong. If R increases, borrower will borrow more. If R increases, interest rate goes up. What happened? You have to pay more out of your pocket, right? Okay, so you will not borrow more. Okay? If R increases, savers will save more. Okay? This is a possibility. Okay, this is a possibility. But what happened? Do you necessarily save more? Not necessarily, right? Okay? And so if R decreases, borrower will borrow more. You will continue to borrow. Okay? You will continue to borrow, but it's not necessarily you're going to borrow more. So the answer is E, none of the above. Okay? And, we didn't talk about reveal preference. Okay? It's called reveal preference. If you use reveal preference, then it's very easy to analyze all the situation here. I can give you an example here. So that's what we call, in the semester, we say, if interest rate goes up, a lender will continue to lend. If interest goes down, a borrower will, This is what we said that semester. If our interest rate goes up, a lender will continue to lend. If interest rate goes down, a borrower will continue to borrow. Okay, this makes sense. Because for the substitution effect, okay, you will consume more. But for the income effect, what happened? Because this person, because he's a borrower, interest rate goes down, the interest payment goes down, right? And so there's income left there. So there's income effect positive, and that is the same thing for a lender. Okay. Well, so even though we are not going to discuss all these issues again, but I encourage you because we discussed the questions in the final exam, and encourage you to read a little bit of the book to see what we have done last semester. Okay, question 10. So what is the impact of overtime payment? 吴志平, what's overtime payment? 3 words. What is overtime payment? Do you know what's overtime?
忘记了，
Excuse me?
忘记了。
Oh. 林文杰, what's overtime? Overtime pay. So for example, you work 8 hours, right? You get regular pay.
加班
Right. 3 words.
加班费
Right, okay. And in Taiwan, it's much better now. Okay, in the past, if you work overtime, nobody cares. But now the law says that the employer, your boss, has to pay 1.5 times more. Okay, so let us say if your wage rate is $200, overtime will be 300. Okay, and so it's much nicer now. Okay, so what's the impact of overtime pay? So let us say your wage rate is $200, but you have to work 8 hours to get the nice hour pay. So the nice hour you get $300, right? Can you tell the boss, no, I don't want to work 8 hours, just give me the nice hour and 10th hour? Can you do that? The answer is no. So what's the impact of overtime pay? It reduces the income effect, okay? Reduces the income effect of wage rate increases. And so that, if you really want to get the overtime pay, what you're gonna do? You need to work 8 hours first. So it reduces a little bit on your welfare, okay? On your utility. But then, so it keeps the substitution effect of the wage rate increase and kill and cut the income effect of the wage rate increase. So the answer is, okay, C, decrease the income effect of wage rate rise, okay? Question 11, this one is a little bit difficult. Last semester we proved that in a consumption bundle, okay, for all the goods in the consumption bundle, it cannot be all inferior, okay? So in terms of the formula is like this, summation, okay, SI EI is equal to 1. Okay, what is SI? The proportion of your income spent on good I. Okay, what is SI? Sorry. The proportion of your income spent on I good. Okay, good I. And here is the income elasticity. Okay, income elasticity for good I. And so the proportion of something, the proportion of your income spent on something, it must be positive, right? And here, if it is an inferior good, it will be all negative. Okay? So then, this equation will not hold. So because of that, we say for all the goods in a consumption bundle, it cannot be all inferior. And so here, how to solve with this problem? So you have S1 times E1 plus S2 times E2 plus S3 times E3 plus, so we have 4 goods, right? S4 times E4 is equal to 1. So how to solve it? You plug in all the numbers. Plug 0.3. So, sorry. So 0.3 times 1 plus 0.3 0.3 times 1.2 plus 0.3 times 0.4 plus 0.1 times EW is equal to 1. So this is the way to solve the problem. And because this one is a little bit more difficult, so sorry, I don't want to spend too much time dealing with it. By the way, this question is not in the book. Okay, so this is extra. Okay, this is extra that we discussed in the in class. Okay, so the answer is, I believe it's normal goods. Okay, I believe it's normal goods. So try to get it done, and then you can get the answer. Okay, question 12. 高建业, you want to try question 12? No. Why not? 郑义礼? No. Okay, anyway, question 12. So utility function, you have x to 5th power and y to 5th power. So what is the proportion of income you spend on x? So how to solve it? So you need to have, okay, MUX divided by PX is equal to MUY divided by PY, and that is equal to MU of money. Okay? So this is the equilibrium for a consumer. If a consumer maximizes utility, okay, so the marginal utility per dollar spent on X and marginal utility per dollar spent on Y must be the same. So that would be the marginal utility of your money. And so because of that, you can deal with it. And so at this point, I think it's kind of nice that we can show people what is, how to deal differentiation. So I suppose everyone in this class, except for those people from English department, know calculus, right? So, 卢右讲, what is MUX here? This is the utility function, right? And what is the MUX? And the budget constraint is Px times x plus Py times y is equal to m. So this is the budget constraint, and this is the utility function. Okay? So, 刘右翔, what's MUX? This is the utility function. What's MUX? You have no idea? Have you taken calculus? Yes. So you forgot it? 第一问题 marginal utility of no idea? 郑怡玲 Okay? Find times x to 4th power and then y to 5th power. Okay? And who else? 黄秀慧 MUY 黄秀慧举手 OK MUY X X Okay good Okay 4 5 and Okay so So Mongyi, do you know what's going on here? No. Okay. Lin Wenji, no. Wu Zhiting, no idea. Okay. It's called differentiation. Okay, differentiation. Zheng Yiling, what's differentiation? Okay. You got it? So, because u of x y is equal to x to 5th power, y to 5th power, right? And now we are going to find out what is MUX, right? MUX. So what's MUX? So MUX is equal to DU dx, right? Differentiate it, okay? But because we have two variables, actually I should use partial. But anyway, that's Wang Jiwen, what's partial? We have differentiate, right? Differentiate. And what's partial? Partial. Because we have two variables. Okay, so actually we should use partial. Anyway. So, those two girls and Mr. Wu, okay? If you have xn, okay, you have a function called xn. How to get differentiation? dx xn will be equal to n times n to n minus 1. Okay, so that's why Zheng Yiling, she said, right? We want to get to marginal utility of x. Okay? So, because here it is x phi, right? X to 5th power, and differentiate x. So n is here, phi, right? And the exponent, okay, the exponent is n minus 1. So it is equal to 4. Okay, and the same thing. So when we differentiate x, we deal with x. When we differentiate y, okay, we deal with y. So x phi, we no change in x phi, x to 5th power. And for here, you have phi here, right? N, and here n minus 1. Okay, you got it? Song Fangyu, Li Wenqi, you get it? Sounds good. Until you deal with another problem. Okay, so anyway, so here's what you get. So x to 4th power, x to 5th power, right? So we get rid of 4. Here only 1 left, right? And here is y to 4th power, get rid of it. And here only 1 left. So here is phi y divided by px, okay, is equal to phi x divided by py. Okay? So what you get? Px times py, times x is equal to py times y. So here is what you get. And remember, what is the budget line? The budget line is px times x plus py times y is equal to m. And as a matter of fact, px times x is equal to py times y, right? So you have 2 px times x is equal to m, and px times x is equal to m over 2, right? So the question is, what is the proportion of income spent on x? 1/2, right? 1/2. So the answer is D. Okay, got it? Okay, let's move on to question 13. We need to hurry a little bit. Paisy, who are you? You said you can understand it? Are you sure? Get one question and then you do it? No? Anyway, this is the review of the final exam, right? So that means we have gone through a lot last semester. And if you are new here, okay, it means you have to work harder to catch up, okay? This is all the purpose, okay? I'm not here to scare you, okay? I'm not here to scare you, but it means that you need to do some work to catch up. Okay, question 13. Whose turn? Lu Youxiang, question 13.
If YDY increase, and it will always go up,
Okay, so A say wage rate increases. We discussed this, right? So can you tell me which one is the answer? Excuse me? We mentioned this, right? We just discussed it, right? So wage rate goes up, what happened? Wage rate goes up. What about your work? And also substitution effect, income effect, right? So answer. We discussed it, right? And so, Lin Wenqi, can you tell us? Okay, if wage rate goes up, work will always go up. Is that right? Why? Why it will not always go up? Why it will not always go up? Because there's substitution effect and income effect, right? If interest, that is not interest, wage rate, right? Wage rate. If your wage rate goes up, substitution effect will get you to work more. Income effect will get you to work less, right? So substitution effect will make you work make your work go up, okay? And so he said always go up. Is that right? No. And leisure will always go up. No. And substitution effect will make your work go up, right? That's right. Income effect will make your work go down because you get more pay, right? The example we have is that if you get $200 per hour, $400, $500, you will work more. But if your wage rate is now 5,000, you're going to work more or work less? Work less. Okay? You get it? Substitution rate effect and income effect. That's the same thing for interest rate. Okay, the same thing for interest rate. Okay, question 14. So the answer is C. Okay, this answer is C. So this is a utility function. Again, it depends on the marginal utility. Okay, so you have MUX and MUY. And now it is a test to you and see if you can figure out differentiation. Now, Wu Zhiting, what is marginal utility of X? So X1. So what is MUX1? From what you learned, just a few minutes ago, what is MUX1? Excuse me? And MUX2.金正达举手。MUX1。Okay. MUX1 B, MUX2. A. Okay. So everyone again. So you have utility function of x1, x2, right? It is equal to what? bx1 plus ax2, right? So differentiate that, okay? dx1 du, right? Sorry. Okay? So what you get? Here it is 1, right? And move it down here. 1 times b, right? And here is 1 minus 1. What you get? 0, right? Any number to the power of 0, what you get? You get 1. So here is b. Wu Zhiting, you got it? Okay, Lin Fangyu. Song Fangyu, you get it? And for x2, right? The same thing. du dx2, right? So what you get? Here it is a, right? It is a. Here is x2 to 1's power, 1, right? And you move 1 down here, right? Remember that dxxn is equal to n times n to n minus 1's power, right? So 1 moves down here, 1 down here, right? 1 minus 1, what you get? 0. So this one is gone, only a. Okay? And so now let's look at the question. It says x1 and x2 are perfect complements. It is a little bit too difficult to explain this. But anyway, what's complements? Two things used together. So for example, you need to have right shoes and left shoes. They work together, right? Camera and film, okay? You use cell phone, right? And battery, okay? All these are complements. They use together. But here, it is not, okay? They are perfect substitute. And the MRS, another term to talk about the slope. This is the slope of budget line. The slope of indifference curve. The slope of indifference curve is MUX2 and here MUX1. So here is about the consumer behavior. So you need to check chapter 2 and chapter 3. Okay, I encourage you to review. If you get a book, okay, review that. And so the answer is C. They are perfect substitute. Okay, and the MRS is equal to B over A. Okay, it's B over A rather than A over B. Okay. Question 14. Okay, question 15. Oh, sorry. It's overtime. I don't get overtime pay. What a pity. Anyway, take a break.